What's wrong, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and Charlie Kirk's revenge from above continues to be widespread as one of, if not the most unhinged political commentator in the space, a man that said, we need more actions like Charlie Kirk, a man that refused to disavow what happened to Charlie Kirk, a man that said Republicans need to fear what happened to Charlie Kirk. This man has said some of the most heinous stuff imaginable, and now, perhaps by divine intervention, YouTube has stepped in and said, nah, we're good. We're good on that. Now, again, if somebody makes a mistake one time, I'm not going to be freaking out about double standards and bans and demonetizations. Obviously, everyone should be given extended a little bit of grace. But when it is a repeated action against the terms of service of their platform, say YouTube, and there is a double standard that we all know is true, people on the right, or just regular everyday people, could never get away saying what people on the left say about people on the right. We could never get away calling for terrible things to happen to them like these people always do. We could never get away calling them heinous names repeatedly, telling people to call, do all this terrible stuff to them. I don't even want to give people ideas. But the left has enjoyed this freedom over the past 10 or 15 years. And now, just because they have to live by the same standard as the rest of us, they are having an absolute meltdown. By the way, make sure this weekend you go over to thequartering.com/join if you haven't already, and you join our members area, and it's a Discord chat room where we all can talk, and I'm hoping we can get like 100 new members over the weekend. We're talking about all sorts of stuff in there, community activities, church, self-defense. Obviously it's the first place you're going to get any breaking news. So pop on over to thequartering.com/join, get in there. And you can also talk directly to me, Hannah Claire, Melanie Mack, my entire staff. Here is Destiny yesterday lamenting about his demonetization by YouTube.
I feel like my YouTube is going to get permaban soon because I got broad demonetized yesterday for that I didn't even cite a video. So I don't know. I'll appeal it. We'll see what happens. But I mean, if Kimmel is getting canceled from ABC, I don't know.
Now, YouTube did not outright ban him. They just demonetized him, which I guess the thing with Destiny is he specifically broke YouTube terms of service. And so I am 100% fine with him being demonetized. But I also, and it's like, look, you make one mistake. I think a lot of people, anybody makes as many videos as Destiny or even me, you probably have a slip up here or there. But this is a guy that has repeatedly broken the YouTube terms of service. On top of that, he has broken the YouTube monetization policies. Before Destiny plays victim, here are the YouTube monetization guidelines that we all follow. This is not an arbitrary censorship. Glorifying, promoting, or endorsing bad behavior is flagrantly against the rules. Another case of liberals being shocked that the rules apply to them. You cannot do what Destiny does and stay monetized on YouTube. That's just the rule. You cannot promote hate groups, hate symbols, or hate paraphernalia. Well, we all know Antifa has been designated as that right now. You also cannot glorify, promote, glorify, or even condone violence against each other, which Destiny not only does, but he does it practically once a week, it seems like. So these are repeated violations of the YouTube monetization policy. And, ultimately, this is going to cost him. Now, he probably gets plenty of money from foreign NGOs and Democrat, dark money. But this is a guy that was averaging 10 to 15 million views a month. Monetized views. It's difficult to say if every video he uploads was monetized. I mean, last month alone, he had 18 million. This is a guy that was probably making, you know, $50,000 a month, maybe more, $50,000 to $100,000 a month on YouTube, gone, because he just cannot stop promoting, you know, the taking of life of conservatives. It's just like one thing, you know, maybe it's, I guarantee it's at least 30 to 40 grand a month. So you're talking about a guy that just pissed away $500,000 a year because he just wouldn't stop saying that conservatives needed bad things to happen to them. This is who these people are. You know, this is who all these people are. By the way, Destiny's new Charlie Kirk gimmick, you know, he's trying to do a change my mind thing at college campuses, and people are just heckling him, calling him a little boy lover and all this kind of stuff. This guy, you know, again, who paid for this, right? Who's paying for this? I'm sure Destiny didn't pay for this. Some other group paid for this. And interesting, here's a video that might be pretty interesting.
We've all heard the vile statements that Destiny made.
By the way, can we stop recording videos while we're driving? I don't know if this is mirrored and she's actually in the passenger side seat, but it doesn't look like it to me. So please be safe. Can we not do that?
About Charlie's life being taken from him. But did you know that the guy who was speaking
Nah, she's probably in the passenger seat. She's not even looking at the road. Okay.
to Charlie when he was unalived was a guy who was part of Destiny's Unfuck America's tour. If you haven't heard of Unfuck America, the Unfuck America tour, look who that is, was scheduled to follow Turning Point around and counter all of Turning Point's events.
By the way, who's funding that? You know, I don't know if it's, you know, hey, Turning Point has big corporate donors. They also have individual people donating to them. You know, it's possible, but, you know, I wonder who's funding this group.
That's why this guy was speaking to Charlie when Charlie was unalive. Now, of course, if you go to
By the way, so apparently one of their members was speaking to Charlie when the incident happened.
unfuckamericatour.com, you'll see this message pop up, and they're talking about how disturbed they are about what happened to Charlie. They're saying that they're grieving, and please give them space while they can grieve. Again, Destiny is their lead creator, and he's making these comments about Charlie and people who think like Charlie. Everyone who works for Turning Point should get a restraining order against him immediately so that he or anyone who works for him is not allowed to show their ass up at these Turning Point events.
I 100% agree with this. By the way, this chick seems based. Shout out Conspira Cookie, apparently is her name. I don't know. You never know, because some people will just steal other people's videos and put their watermark on it. That's about half of what you know, Pajits, Indian people on X do and to funnel money out of America.
I've noticed that not a lot of you guys know about this. And why do I know about this? Because one of these people that's part of this tour follows me. She actually seems quite fucking reasonable. She seems like a decent person. That's how I know about this. I'm just saying, I don't understand why, and I guess it's because no one knows, but this needs to be like mainstream news.
Now, do I think that this tour had anything to do with it? No, I haven't seen any evidence of it, but it is an interesting thought experiment. It is an interesting coincidence at minimum. And if nothing else, I do agree that Turning Point USA should absolutely have restraining orders against these people, because the people that follow them are crazy. By the way, the stream went very bad. You know, I could stream this better from my phone if I was there. GG, mods are telling the truth. Please tell Destiny how garbage a stream is running. God, he's outside. Fix the stream. Dude, this is unwatchable. You know, people paid for this. A lot of people. You know, and by the way, the hecklers are roasting him. I can't play what they said, but it's pretty funny. Cops were later called to break up a fight in the crowd. Again, these leftoids, you can't, when people, I've been saying this more and more ever since, you know, what happened to Charlie Kirk a little over a week ago. When these people tell you who they are, Believe them. When Destiny has said multiple times that he supports, terrible things happening to conservatives, why do we think he doesn't actually believe that? When Hassan Piker says, all the heinous things, take out these politicians, let the streets run blood with capitalist blood, this, that, and the other thing. Why do people think he doesn't mean that? He means it. He went on TV last night the other night in a desperate attempt to keep his spot on Amazon. I can't predict that Hassan for sure will get demonetized or deplatformed because he is kind of like their king. But I do believe on Twitch, it's going to come down to Dan Clancy or Hassan Piker. Because Dan Clancy has continually let Hassan Piker skate by with probably a half dozen or more permanent ban violations. So either Dan Clancy is going to be gone or Hassan's going to be gone. This video, again, this is, hey, by the way, I support him going out to these colleges and debating people. I see that about 8 people have showed up. So I'm happy for him, This is some sort of different because he did something outside too, apparently. I don't know. But again, I have no issue whatsoever with Destiny being able to have a platform and talk. I have an issue when he calls for attacks on people. And by the way, he also apparently has horrible images on his computer, allegedly, that he refuses to delete. I don't know what's going on with that, but it's good to see. It's definitely only the beginning, but this is a W. I don't think Charlie would want him deplatformed. So I do think this is probably a happy medium. Destiny could always, this is what they always say, he could just start his own YouTube. I suppose that's an option for him too. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.